today we have 4 amazing UTS ambassadors, and I know that everybody has been following their journey over the last days. So first of all, I want to ask all of you, how are you feeling today? Sarah, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It has been like amazing past days, like at the festival side, a lot of new impressions, a lot of physical activity, a lot of inspiration, and I'm really looking forward to this last day for me, unfortunately.
I know. I want them all to stay. I don't want them to go home. What about you, Leila? How have you found so far the festival?
I'm actually very grateful to be here and to hear all of those inspiring stories and to meet all of those inspiring people. It has been such a great experience learning about so many things that I didn't know and sharing my experience with other people. So I'm very happy I'm here.
We're happy to have you here. Ezra, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I feel very blessed to be around such amazing storytellers these past few days. And, I got the opportunity to try Muay Thai yesterday with Stefan for the first time. And overall, it's been an amazing couple of days, and I'm looking forward to today and tomorrow, for sure.
Excellent. And Lady in Red, how are we feeling, Husnah?
She's fitted out. Look at best outfit. Best outfit
I know,
here.
I love it.
Yeah, round of applause for that, please.
I love it.
Please.
I'm feeling really cool, just like this right now. And the past few days have been really, really fun and amazing and very inspiring, listening to the different stories and, learning from the other ambassadors as well and trying out Muay Thai. Yeah, I did Muay Thai training this morning and I feel, very, very accomplished. And overall, I'm having lots of fun and I look forward to more fun in the remaining days that I have left.
Perfect, perfect. Question, who's going to be trying Muay Thai again?
Me. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
So all of you. Excellent. So today, as we mentioned before, today is all about tolerance. Although that word, I don't think it sort of settles in everybody's hearts the way it possibly should. I think that tolerance is a word that we just sort of throw around. But what really is tolerance? It's about acceptance. We're all so different. It's about understanding one another and being able to communicate. Yes, we all have the gift of language, but when we don't use it in the right way, or we don't think before we speak, sometimes we can offend people. So today I want to talk to my lovely 4 UTS ambassadors about what tolerance means to them. And I want to kind of dig a little bit into your own experiences. And I want to understand, what experiences have you been through personally as athletes, as young athletes, that perhaps showed elements of intolerance, moments where you didn't quite feel accepted, you felt judged, you felt discriminated against, or you weren't heard. So I want you all to have a little think for a moment. What memory comes to mind? What was that moment where something hit hard and you felt that you weren't understood? Husnah, I know you have a moment already. That was quick.
I spoke about it in my story the other day. When I was 6 years old, I went for my first ever swimming competition. It was a school swimming competition. And obviously I was swimming with able-bodied swimmers, able-bodied people, so of course I was already the other person who was like obviously not going to fit in. But like what made it worse was that I did my first race really, really well. I was happy with it. And then my second race came up, and right when I was like going to the blocks, they told me, you're not going to swim your race. This girl is going to swim it for you, and because she's better, or because they thought because I'm disabled, I wouldn't be able to do it the way they would have wanted it to go. So like after that moment, at that time, at the age of 6, I didn't really know that what I was feeling at that time was anger, and like the feeling of discrimination in general is just really, really infuriating. Because I remember after that time, I stopped swimming for like a while. I just decided, I'm just going to go to school and exist and just move on with my life. So that example of intolerance is really something that no one should ever have to go through, because it kind of took away all the confidence that I'd ever had at that time. And yeah, that was it.
The point that Husnah's making is that we shouldn't just exist. Youth shouldn't just exist. They should have the opportunity to thrive, to experience, to enjoy life, to have opportunity. And thank you for sharing that. And the fact that you spoke up so quick means that that memory is still very fresh. And the reason why Husnah's here and why she's one of the UTS ambassadors is because we want to change that. We want to change through sport and prevent these situations from happening so that when anybody enters an event, they're not judged. They're given the chance, and that's the point. Who else has an experience? Ezra, oh, that was quick as well.
I can go. I think regarding people with disabilities in general, if we were given $1 every time we were excluded or discriminated against, we would be filthy rich. And one experience comes to mind for me. This was in middle school, and I was trying out for my middle school basketball team. There was an A team and there was a B team. And I played club basketball at the time, and all my friends and I were expecting to make the A team, which is, quote-unquote, the better team to make. It was the team of the best basketball players in the grade. And so I had played club basketball with all of my friends for a long period of time, and I ended up not making the A team based on what I thought of at the time was discrimination. I assumed that because of my disability, they didn't think that I was good enough, they didn't trust me. The way I move on the court is a little bit different than an able-bodied athlete. And then my initial thoughts were validated when the coach of the B team benched me the entire season and would constantly make ableist comments at practice and basically didn't allow me the correct environment to flourish by any means. He was constantly underestimating me, counting me out, excluding me from drills at practice, and benched me the entire season until eventually he put me in the game for a little bit. I played pretty well and ended up turning around the season. I was played a little bit more towards the end of the season. But there are many moments like that, but similar to Husnah's, to experience that from a coach, someone who is in the position of power, to be excluding someone in that way so blatantly. We were literally in practice, and I was hearing ableist comments and almost mocking me as a coach saying this to a 7th grade student. And so when I think of a moment where I was excluded or discriminated against, that will always jump to mind immediately.
Ezra, thank you for sharing that. If I can just ask you, how did you deal with that moment? When you were faced with that situation, how did you react? What did you do?
It wasn't even one moment for me to remember the exact thing that I did in response. It was just an accumulation of comments and gestures and things over time. And then, of course, not even playing me at all pretty much the whole season. And in the moment, it's hard to process, particularly when ableist comments were made at practice. It's hard to fully comprehend that. But then later on, talking to my family and friends, it was definitely surprising, and it was jarring, and it was unexpected. But ultimately, I had been faced with many difficult challenges in that similar regard my entire life, so I was accustomed to being underestimated and counted out. So in some ways, it was not a unusual feeling, as I had experienced similar things before.
Completely understandable. So from what we've heard from both Husnah and Ezra, when you have a disability, we are still very much in the Stone Age. We haven't evolved enough. It's still a case of discrimination, whether it's in sport, whether it's in communities, whether it's all around the world, and it's got to change. The reason why they're sat here is because they want to tell not just the sport community, but the world, that they have an equal right to participate, to be accepted, and that we have to stop looking at the physical side and making prejudgments based on what we see and give people the chance. Leila, Sarah, does any of you have an experience you'd like to share?
I do, and it's very different from what you have experienced. Actually, I have more felt less included sometimes because of my sport, because I play mini golf, because when you think about how many of you knew that you can play mini golf as a competitive sport? Did someone? Like, yeah, Stefan, you did. Yeah, of course. But you play mini golf yourself. But it's not a lot. And, you know, me then getting so successful in this sport, I was very proud when I was at the course, you know, when I could perform and I did well. But as soon as I was out of that environment, it was not so accepted. So it was like, you know, oh, okay, yeah, you're like world champion in mini golf. Yeah, it's like nothing. And I felt like ashamed of it actually too. Like, you know, which actually is a big achievement. But for me, it took many years actually to accept, like, okay, you did something great, and that's something that I'm really proud about now.
I think that Sarah should be extremely proud of her sport, and I want to give her a round of applause.
I agree.
Yeah, right? Whether it's mini golf, equestrian, whether it's swimming, any sport, we should be able to do it with pride and not be discriminated against. That's exactly the message that Sarah is trying to share. Leila.
Yes. As a woman, I was like always excluded out of, not even the sports, out of the community. Because I live in a very conservative community. So when I found the sports that I love and I found like the hobby that I want to continue with, I started like working so hard to compete in international competitions and work on myself so hard. But at the end of the day, when I work on myself so hard and I see the opportunities, all of the opportunities to compete and to go and like to international competitions and all of this stuff goes to men, and I'm the one who's working a lot, I never got an opportunity. And I remember once there was a competition I was so excited to go to. It was actually in Saudi Arabia. This competition was the first international competition that women and men could compete together in. So this was like a dream for me. It's like my message is there, you know. So I really wanted to compete in this competition, but it was so hard, like all of the procedures and stuff to go. And then I hear that some of the like my equestrian, like other equestrian riders are going there and they're competing in the competition and they got the opportunity and stuff. And I was so devastated and angry that men are going, but me as a woman, I'm not going to this competition that I always dreamed to go to. And I wanted to go there and to support other women, because I know they want this support. It's the first time to compete in a competition mixed genders. So I actually did not stop there. I worked out everything, and it was a big challenge for me. I went one day before the competition, and I rented a horse I never rode ever in my life. And I went into the competition and won the 4th place out of everyone.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. So I think you should take advantage of those missed opportunities and make them good opportunities for yourself to be a better person.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I have to say, just based on what Leila said, that shows that there are progresses being made. The fact that she could actually go and compete is a shift, right? There's a shift happening. So that's something that we should feel optimistic about. There are changes happening. It's not all terrible and unfortunate, but it's just taking time, and we need to speed that up. These 4 ambassadors right here, all now good friends, right? You've had time to get to know each other, mingle, following each other, right, on social media, WhatsApp group. They are the future. They are the seeds of what will be. And the fact that coming from different places, different culture, different background, they're united with the same vision, and that's to make the difference. So the question that I want to ask you before we're going to leave this session, because we can sit here, We can talk about tolerance, acceptance, understanding all day long, but the point is, what are we going to do? So my question to each of you is, how would you like to be treated in the situations that you faced, taking into account of the differences and the cultures and so on? How would you want people to actually treat you?
As a person with a disability, I think it would be preferred if I'm included in stuff. In school, I'm allowed to, do what other kids would know what to do, like serving out the books in class or, getting in trouble for not doing something. Because usually at school, I'm treated really, really differently, especially when I was in primary school, because in high school, I was known by then that I'm a person with a disability and I'm thriving in my nature. So in primary school, I was always excluded from stuff. They would always make me sit around, and when everyone else is carrying the desks from here to there, they'd always say, Husnah, just stay there, because I guess they were afraid that carrying the desk would hurt me. But even though other kids didn't want to, I wanted to do it, I was volunteering, but then I wasn't allowed to. So all I'd ask for is that we're treated equally and we are not stopped from doing something that we would like to do.
I think that's a really important point, to not be stopped, to give them the chance to try. Ezra.
I would like I would like to be treated, and the way I like to phrase this is, I want others not to judge what I'm capable of based on my disability. And this is a theme that is very prevalent throughout my life, where I feel underestimated, I feel counted out in many instances. And I work every day, I train, I put myself in these positions to go after my dreams so that I am not judged based on my disability. And I think, I know we speak about it a lot, but many times people will assume things about what you're capable of and have these preconceived notions about you strictly based on your physical appearance, based on your disability, as some might say. And so I think that I want to be, of course, included. I want to be treated the same way anyone else would. And I want people to not limit what they believe I'm capable of or have these preconceived notions about me strictly based on my disability, which tends to happen. And of course, we're seeing a shift, but that is a theme that I train. I work my whole life. I put myself in positions to help break those stereotypes regarding a person with a physical disability. So.
No, thank you, Ezra. I think for Ezra and Husnah, from what you've both said, you're experiencing similar discrimination. And in a way, I can understand it, because when people don't shift their perspective, or they can't put themselves in someone else's shoes, how can they understand how it feels? And so sometimes there's that awkwardness of they're not sure what to do, so they'd rather be protective about it and not let you do it just in case, when actually what you're saying is, just let us try, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Understood, completely understood. And I think we all get that in this room for sure. Leila.
Well, I really want to be treated as equal and to be considered like a priority, not always an extra sitting on the side. And whenever they need me, they can call me. And whenever they don't, okay, you can do whatever you like. So I really want to be treated as equal. I want people to take women seriously and to really appreciate how strong we are and what can we do, and yeah.
Well said. And I completely understand where you're coming from. And I think all 4 ambassadors sitting on this stage should be treated equally. And I want you all to give them another round of applause, because they're sharing, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Sarah.
So for me, it's actually, I would like not to be judged. But I'm also looking at it from a different perspective, because I cannot change what other people are going to do, what they are going to think. So I believe that I have to pay also more attention about me and the tolerance that I have towards myself, because the story that I've been telling you before, that people actually were not really recognizing like my successes that I had in sports. Maybe I was also not standing up enough for myself and for my success. Maybe I was not sharing enough about the mini golf sport. And that is something that I feel actually, that I regret, that I didn't do that enough. Like, I let that kind of thing happen to me. And I think that's also something that we all have the power in ourselves to also be more loving with ourselves. Because when we're very honest, the most critical person, I think, most of the time it's ourselves. So, I don't know, like, yes, I feel like sharing this love towards yourself and within yourself, you're also more able to share it with others. And I believe here, this United Through Sports event is so valuable because, you know, I just know my perspective, and sharing all of your stories and me hearing your stories, this is what actually really connects, and that what gives us the possibility to be more tolerant. And therefore, I think it's so amazing to be here, and big, big thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I could sit with them all day, honestly, and just talk. Thank you so much. And I hope that everyone who's watching, everyone who's here in person, takes something away. We all have to be accountable for our actions, accountable for the decisions we make. Treat each other with love, with kindness, with respect. Give each other a chance and work together. All four of you are absolutely epic. I cannot wait to see their journeys. I can just picture in a couple of years from now where they're going to be, and I think trajectory is just going up and up and up. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. Really, really thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.